Good morning, dear students. Myself, Mrs. Poonam Dikshit, on behalf of NG Vartak English Medium High School and Junior College, welcome you all for the online session for the academic year 2020-21. Our today's subject is Science and Technology, Section A, Chapter number 4, Measurement of Matter. There were many requests sent by children on my personal mobile number that they wanted the repetition of the explanation of topic valency. See, whenever you are sending any request, see to it that maximum you make use of the group. Please do not send on personal numbers. When you are sending on the group, others also get the idea. Yes, whatever topic you might have understood or whichever topic, yes, you thought that valency topic is very important, as I have told you, in your future life also. So I will take up this topic, I will explain the topic once again today, but see to it from next time onwards. Children, you are sent whatever request you want the topic to be explained or whatever difficulties, it should be sent on your school group, not on my personal, not on any of the teachers' personal numbers. Okay, so before starting with the topic valency, in short, we are going to revise about Avogadro's number. As I have told you, what is Avogadro's number? This number has got its name because of the contribution of the work of the Italian scientist Avogadro. As we have seen that a century has 100 items in it. When you talk about century, it means 100 items. When you talk about a dozen, it means 12 items. When you talk about gross, it means 144 items. Similarly, when you talk about a mole means 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Means nothing but this number is called as Avogadro's number. We had taken up an example of water. A mole of water, that is 18 grams of water, contains, we had discussed this previously, 1 mole means it corresponds to the amount of molecular mass in grams. So it contains, a mole of water contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of water in it. Now we come to our topic, main topic, that is valency. Listen carefully now. Valency, as I have told you, it is very, very important. It is nothing but the combining capacity of an element. What do you mean by combining capacity of an element? Whenever any element is short of electrons or have more number of electrons in their outermost shell, they show the tendency to lose or accept electrons to become stable. And this property of an element is called valency of an element. So for understanding the topic valency, we had seen the entire setup of an atom last time. I will explain it to you again. You can see the structure of the atom here. The center of the atom is known as the nucleus, with shells or the orbits surrounding the nucleus. The first orbit surrounding the nucleus is known as the K shell. Second orbit is known as L shell. Third orbit is known as M shell. And fourth orbit is known as the N shell. These are the 4 shells. Now these are the alphabets which are given by the IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. These are not decided by us that any alphabet you can give it. This is it is given or it is being allowed to be used by the IUPAC system. Anything whatever you discover in chemistry, that has to be passed, that has to be finalized by the IUPAC. Now what is the peculiarity about these shells? Each and every shell has a maximum capacity to accommodate number of electrons. You know that electrons revolve around the nucleus and they are present in these shells. So how you can deduce, how you can find how much number of electrons can be accommodated in each cell? It can be found out by using a formula 2n square. By using a formula 2n square, where n is nothing but the number of your shell. See, the first shell after the nucleus is known as given number 1. This is given number 2. Then 3 and 4 means the shell near to the nucleus is numbered as 1. So if you take n as 1 and substitute in this formula to get the maximum number of electrons, you will get 2 multiply by n square, that is 1 square, answer will be 2. Similarly, if you want for second shell, you will get 2 multiply by 2 square, that is 8. If you want for the third shell, you will get 2 multiply by 3 square, that is 18. And for the fourth shell, you will get as 32. Means, what was this formula used for? This formula was used to find the maximum number of electrons in each cell. And now you have come to know that each and every orbit's maximum capacity, what it is. For the first shell, the maximum capacity is only 2 electrons. Means the shell which is around the nucleus, the first shell around the nucleus can accommodate only 2 electrons, not more than 2. See, in your class, in every classroom has a certain capacity to accommodate the number of students. If the capacity of the class is 60 students, then if I send 70 in the class, the remaining 10 won't get their proper place. They have to move to the next class. Similarly here, first shell can allow only accommodation of 2 electrons, second shell 8 electrons, third shell 18 electrons and fourth shell 32 electrons. From this, now we can find out what is the valency. We can come to our main topic. How to find the valency now? For finding valency, you should know the atomic number of the element and you should know how to write the electronic configuration. Each and every element, as you all have your unique roll number in the school, according to that, each and every element has its unique atomic number. I have taken an example of oxygen having atomic number 8, sodium having atomic number 11, hydrogen having atomic number 1, chlorine 17, nitrogen 7, aluminium 13. You know the atomic numbers. Now teacher, how to write the electronic configuration? See, for writing the electronic configuration, your first should always start with the maximum capacity of your first shell. You know 8 means first shell will accommodate how much electrons? 2. 8 minus 2, 6. 6 will go to the second shell. Now how to show the difference in the shells? You have to show with the help of commas. Now you know oxygen means in the first shell of oxygen there will be 2 electrons. The 6 will go in the second shell. Sodium atomic number is 11. First shell में कितने electrons को डालोगे? 2. Then a comma 8 in the second shell. Second shell is also fully filled, comma. Remaining 1 will go in the third shell. Similarly, hydrogen now has only 1. Atomic number is 1. So hydrogen is having how many electrons? 1 electron only is there. So 1 will go in the first shell. See, the class has a capacity of 60 children. But if 40 children are there, then also that 40 will get their proper places. So similar is the case of hydrogen. Chlorine 17, 2, 8, 7. Always a comma should be there. Otherwise, you know what will happen? It will be seen as 287 number. We want electronic configuration. So see to it that each and every number you are separating by a comma. Nitrogen 7, 2, 5. Aluminium 13, 2, 8, 3. To find out valency, we are taking up an example of sodium chloride. How sodium chloride is formed. What do you mean by sodium chloride? Sodium chloride means nothing but the common salt which you use in your day-to-day food. Its chemical name is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is formed by the bond between two elements. One is sodium and one is chlorine. So you have to take into account the atomic numbers of both the elements. Sodium has atomic number 11. Chlorine has atomic number 17. Now we will write their electronic configurations. Sodium is 2 in the first shell, 8 in the second shell, 1 in the third shell. Chlorine 2, 8, 7. Now you can see here, for sodium to become stable, it is stable with 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell, but the third shell is having only 1 electron. So sodium is not stable. To become stable, it has to give away this electron. So when sodium and chlorine, they come close to each other, you can see the case of chlorine. First shell is completely filled, second shell is completely filled, third shell is having 7 electrons. So if it gets this 1 electron from sodium, its third shell will have 8 electrons. And according to the electron octet rule, octet means 8 electrons. Even if 8 electrons are there in the third shell, then also the shell is completely filled. Shell is completely stable. So when sodium and chlorine will come near each other, sodium will donate this 1 electron to chlorine. So sodium will become a cation. A cation on sodium will be formed. Why? Because it has donated 1 electron. Whenever you give away a negative character, a positive characteristic is what you can say, it is being imposed in you. A positive character is developed in you. Similarly here, an electron is being given away. Means electron has which charge? Negative charge. So when a negative charge is removed, it will form a positive ion which is known as cation. Now sodium has become stable with 2, 8. 1 electron has been given away. Valence is what? 1. Why 1? Because this 1 electron has been given away to become stable. On the other hand, when you speak about chlorine, it will form 2, 8, 8. Here it was 7. This 1 electron has come here. So now it has become anion. Why anion? Because it has accepted that negative charge electron in it. Hence it forms an anion. Again valence is 1. Teacher, how it can be possible? Here also 1, here also 1. Yes. What does valency mean now? Valency means the number of electrons which are shared, which are donated, which are accepted to become stable, for the element to become stable. That is known as the valency. Valency doesn't mean the number of electrons in the outermost shell. Valency means the number of atoms which are donated, which are accepted for the element to become stable. Now sodium has become stable by donating 1 electron. So valency is 1. Chlorine has become stable by accepting 1 electron. So valency is 1. So this way you can deduce the valency of any element. Now positively charged ions are called as cations, while negatively charged ions are called as anions. Just now I have told you what cations are, what anions are. Example of sodium chloride only. Why here I have written plus and minus? Because I told you sodium has donated 1 electron. So a positive charge is developed in sodium. Whereas chlorine has taken up 1 electron. So it has become minus. Now here you can write plus 1, minus 1. Because that plus 1 will show that 1 electron is given away. Positive charge is developed. And minus 1 will show that the electron is being taken up. So a negative charge will be developed. So both when they come together, they form sodium chloride. So sodium chloride contains Na plus and Cl minus as cation and anion respectively. Similarly, if you take an example of magnesium chloride, magnesium's atomic number is what? 12. Chlorine just now you have seen 17. So 12 means 282. How will magnesium become stable? It will become stable by donating these 2 electrons. How it can donate 2 electrons when one chlorine atom requires only 1 electron? It will become stable by combining with 2 chlorine atoms. So each chlorine atom will accept 1 electron and thus the compound formed will be MgCl2. Why Cl2? Because 2 chlorine atoms and 1 magnesium atom. It will contain Mg, 2 positive charge. Why 2 positive charge? Because 2 electrons are donated, and Cl minus because each chlorine atom has accepted only 1 electron as the cation and anion respectively. And from these examples, what you can state that the number of electrons that an atom of an element gives away or takes up while forming an ionic bond is called valency of an element. Why ionic bond? Because bonds are formed between ions. Okay, so ionic bond is called valency of that element. So I think today each one of you has followed what is valency. Now to find out the valencies of different elements, I had told you last time also, on page number 54 you have the chart. Complete the following chart. So that chart all of you are going to, those who have written, they will just go through it. Those who have not written, not followed, will again sit with the textbook and start writing with the pencil. Page number 54, you have the chart. From the chart, you will come to know how the valency of certain elements are to be found out. See, in the first column in your textbook, you have the name of the element. Now, due to lack of space, I have not written the complete name because you know in chemistry, mostly symbols are used. So, the first element I will read out is hydrogen, second helium, third lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium and silicon. Atomic numbers are provided here. Second column is for atomic number. Third is for writing electronic configuration. I have taken up many examples now for chlorine, for sodium. So now you know how to write the electronic configuration. Then the valence electron. What do you mean by valence electron? The number of electrons in the outermost orbit is known as the valence electron, and last column is valency. So hydrogen is having atomic number 1. This example they have already given in the textbook. Electronic configuration is 1. 1 electron, only 1 shell, so valence electron is 1. So valency is 1. How will hydrogen become stable? Either it will lose this 1 electron and it will accept 1 electron. So it will become stable. So valency is 1. Second also example they have given. Atomic number is 2. So the first shell will have 2 electrons. So valence electrons are 2. So in the first shell 2 electrons are there. So valency is 0 because this helium is stable. It has 2 electrons in the outermost orbit. Only one orbit is there. It will neither donate that 2 electrons, neither it will accept any electron. So valency is 0. Now from the third element onwards, keep your pencils ready. Lithium, atomic number is not given in the textbook. They have given the electronic configuration. How you have to find the atomic number? Add this 2 plus 1 and write 3 in the first column. How many electrons in the last shell? 1. So valence electrons 1. And this 1 electron, what will lithium do? This 1 electron lithium will give away to become stable. So lithium will become stable. 1 shell, 2 electrons are there. So valency is 1. Now similarly children, you can write for the other elements. I will go on telling you. Beryllium is having atomic number 4. So electronic configuration is 2, 2. Number of electrons in the outermost shell are 2. So valence electrons 2. This 2 electrons beryllium will give away to become stable. So valency is 2. You all will write along with me as I am speaking. You are going to write simultaneously. Next is boron. They have given their atomic number is 5. Electronic configuration also is given 2, 3. how many electrons in the outermost orbit? 3. So valence electrons are 3. 3 electrons boron will tend to give away. So valence is also 3. Carbon atomic number is 6. Electronic configuration 2, 4. Valence electrons are 4. Valence is also 4 because carbon will either take 4 electrons, so it will get, here it will become 8, so it will be stable, or it will give away 4 electrons. So by giving away it can be also stable. Nitrogen 7, 2, 5. So 5 electrons in the outermost orbit. Now here be careful. What will nitrogen do? It will not give away these 5 electrons. Okay. Instead, nitrogen will accept 3 electrons. So by accepting 3 electrons, here it will be 5 plus 3, 8. So with 2 and 8, nitrogen will be stable. So valency is 3, not 5. Means one thing you keep in mind, many children have confusion that the number of electrons in the outermost orbit means valency. No. The number of electrons which are donated or accepted for the element to become stable is valency. So valency is 3 because 3 electrons, so nitrogen will accept. Oxygen atomic number is 8, 2, 6. Now what will oxygen do? Give away 6 electrons? No. Oxygen will accept 2 electrons. So here it will become 2 and 8. So valency is 2. Fluorine atomic number is 9, 2, 7. Fluorine will accept 1 electron like chlorine. Chlorine is 287. So 1 electron is accepted, so valency is 1. Valence electrons you can easily write. Number of electrons in the outermost orbit. Neon 10, 2, 8. Valence electrons are 8. Now it is already stable. First shell has 2 electrons. Second shell has 8 electrons. So neither it will donate any electrons nor it will accept electrons. So valency is 0. Sodium you already know. Magnesium also just now we have seen 12. Aluminium is 13, 2, 8, 3. Outermost shell 3 electrons means valence electrons are 3. Valency is 3 because aluminium will give away these 3 electrons to become stable. Similarly for silicon 2, 8, 4. Valence electrons are 4. 4 electrons silicon will tend to give away. So valency is 4. This way, by knowing the atomic number of any element, you can write the electronic configuration and you can find the valency of any element. I hope all of you have completed the table. As the table is already printed in the textbook, some places were blank which we have filled just now after this explanation. So I don't expect you all to write the table again in your notebook, but in the exam the question can be asked, find the valency of chlorine whose atomic number is 17. So you should write column wise. First you will write the symbol, then the atomic number chlorine which is provided, then you will write the electronic configuration, then you will write the valence electrons, and finally you will write the valency. So questions can be asked on this part, but don't draw the table again in your notebook. You can study it directly from your textbook. Okay, now this is about the elements which are having a single valency. But there are some elements which under some specific conditions, they give away or take up different number of electrons. See, exceptions are always there. Okay, so there are some atoms of elements which under some conditions they give up or take away different number of electrons. In such cases, what happens? The elements exhibit more than one valency. See, if the number of electrons which are donated or accepted is fixed, then the element will have one valency. But if the number of electrons which are given up or taken are different, then the element will have different valencies, and this property of the elements is called as variable valency. This property of the elements is called as variable valency. not all the elements. There are only some elements, some exception of elements which exhibit more than one valencies, and this property is called as variable valency. You can take an example of iron having symbol Fe. It is derived from ferrum, Latin name ferrum. It is having two variable valencies, 2 and 3. Therefore, iron will form two compounds. If you take an example with chlorine, that is FeCl2 and FeCl3, because two different valencies are there. So, two different compounds can be formed with chlorine, that is FeCl2 and FeCl3. Apart from this, if you have an example of copper also, copper has valency 1 and also 2. So, copper can form cuprous or cupric, that is with Cu plus or Cu2 plus. Or you have an example of mercury. Mercury also has two valencies, 1 and 2. So, mercury can form two ions, Hg plus and Hg2 plus. So, mercurous and mercury. So, these are the different examples of the elements which exhibits different valencies, and that property is known as variable valency. Now, one homework for you is take down one question. You have to search from the net. Take down the question, find out some more elements. The question is, find out some more elements which have variable valency. Find out some more elements, 2 to 3 elements you have to find from the net which have variable valency. Now here I have taken the example of iron, I have taken the example of copper, I gave you the example of mercury. Similarly, there may be many other elements in the nature who are having more than one valency, that is variable valency. So you have to find out that elements which have variable valency. Okay, a small homework for you. In the same notebook you are going to write it down. And second part of the question there is, find out the compounds. Write down the question. Find out the compounds of the above elements which have variable valency. Find out the compounds of the above elements which have variable valency. Okay, so these are the two questions which you have to find on your own. Now, here we complete with the topic valency and variable valency. Next time we are going to study how to find out the chemical formula of any compound. Now you have seen sodium chloride, when you speak we say NaCl, magnesium chloride we say MgCl2, water we say H2O, carbon dioxide we say CO2. So how this molecular formula is found out, that we are going to study in our next session. Till then, keep on completing your books, keep studying from time to time, and stay at home and stay safe. Thank you, children.